woke up with the rising sun. 3 little birds perched on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I woke up this morning, got up with the rising sun. 3 little birds perched on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. And there's lots of new faces. This is fun today. Well, it's always fun, but today feels good with all the new energy. My name is Michelle LeMay. I'm a practitioner intern here and also on the Board of Trustees. And I get the pleasure of sharing what we've got going on here at the center, which is a lot. First things first, directly after service, we are going to be doing our monthly Rap with the Rev. Because usually it's Revs. Oh, you're going to be saying as well? All right, great. So we'll be Rap with the Revs. And what that is a chance to just kind of gather together, circle up, hear about the story of how CSL was created, but also to hear about your fellow spiritualists that are here in service, from whether you're new or have been coming since the beginning. It's really a great way to just get to know each other better. So that's going to happen. We tend to try to do about 15 minutes-ish after service. We know we always leave time for our socializing time out back, and there's always treats that Ron Stover and his team have for us. But we do ask that once you start to see people start to circle up, we'll have this circle very clear. You'll see where we're going to be gathering. But once you see people starting to gather and some of the Malama team starting to usher you, it'll be time to make a choice to either join us, which we invite you to do, or to not join us. Which we invite you to do as well. It's all up to you. But what's been happening is that we just want to make sure that we are being mindful for the people who are staying, that we do start in a timely manner. And because we've got the rest of the day and we've got so much going on this beautiful island. So if we start to usher you, it's not personal. Just make a choice and decide where you'd like to be. And then next week, we're going to have our Women in Consciousness group and Men's Mindful Treehouse. That happens every third Sunday. So that's going to be next weekend. And bring snacks if you'd like to share for that as well. We have the Abundance Project that has been postponed. That's going to be happening in May. But we do have, and this is going to be super exciting, the Flying Solo Performance. So you've been hearing about before the coming up for the class, and we're in the middle of it. We've got a couple more weeks. But the performance, there's 7 of us, the Magnificent 7, and it's going to happen at 7 o'clock on April 20th, which is a Friday. So we definitely invite you to come. It's for people who are, if you're watching online, don't come on a regular, this might be a great way to come and see some of us. But it's 7 of us who are going to be doing 10-minute one-person plays where we have just picked something from our life or just a combination of things in our life. But we get to perform that for all of you. And it's very great, and it's very beautiful to also have an audience to do that for. It's a little awkward if it's just Patrick again. So come support us, come love us, and you'll always come away with something. They always have their poignant moments. So the ones that we've had in the past, there have been tears, there have been laughter, there's been ahas happening. So do join us for that again. That's Friday, April 20th at 7. And then Rebecca DeRoos will be having 2 spiritual circles this month in Kalaheo, one on Thursday, April 12th, and then April 26th again from 1 to 2:30. And there's more info in your program for that as well. All right, well, thank you for your kind attention. Enjoy your service, and I'd like to introduce Reverend Patrick.
Mahalo. Oh, hello, everyone. Hello. Do you notice something a little different today? What's that? That too. And it's not the clothes I'm wearing, it's Rita. For those of you who are here for the first time, there is a Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick. So Reverend Rita has, her mother transitioned. She talked about it last Sunday. And the good news is that her mother loved Easter, and she hit it at least on our time. She missed it by an hour and a half, Florida time. So it was really important. Her husband that she'd been married to for 20 years left on Christmas, and she left on Easter. So Rita is there, and she sends her love. She's actually watching right now. And I will share something because it's just my nature that she said this morning. I won't take all of her stories, but she said that they were in the elevator going up, and her mother was on the 5th floor in the place that she was at. And a woman walked in, very straight-faced, and they have all these boxes to pack up her stuff. And they said, the woman looked at Rita and her brother and said, "So, your mother got promoted to the penthouse." That's how we roll here at CSL Kauai, just so you'll know. So, with that being said, she sends her love. I know, I told her, I said, I am going to steal that, so if you planned on using it, it's over. Never know what will happen at the end here. So I'd like to, at this time, to invite Reverend Diane up. We're going to have our time of lighting the peace candle that we do every week.
Good morning, Kauai. Good morning, Reverend Rita. Let's take a moment now, knowing that what we do here on a regular basis makes a difference in the world. And so when we embrace peace in our own hearts and take a moment for peace every Sunday, we are creating ripples of peace out into the world. And so as we light our peace candle, I'd like you to join me in the one mind and consciousness as we embrace peace in the world. There is only one power, one presence, and one love, and I call it God. I call it spirit. I call it beauty. I call it peace. And in this one mind, this one power, and this one presence, I speak my word today for peace going out into the world as ripples from each one of us, creating a world that works for everyone. Knowing that this is already done in the mind of God, I settle into a moment of embracing Reverend Rita, Andriello, Feren, and her family. Knowing that the peace of God is right where she is, right where they are. That it is moving in and through every activity of this day and every day forward, bringing comfort, bringing peace, bringing the great love of Spirit to bear upon their souls during this time of grief. Knowing that the peace that we are generating here today touches Reverend Rita's heart, and goes on from there that she is a place of peace within her family and within her community there. I give thanks. And with a grateful heart know that all is unfolding perfectly right where she is. With great love in my heart and this gratitude, I release my word to the law of mind, knowing that it cannot fail to produce amazing, loving results in those spoken for. And I simply allow it to be as we say together, and so it is.
Mahalo. So here we are. Here we are. If you're here for the first time, just to let you know, you're at CSL Kauai, and we practice the science of mind and spirit, and what else? Quantum physics. And that's our tagline. But we're so much more. It's a very simple philosophy. I know that sometimes upsets people, simplicity, and without making it a little bit more complex than it has to be. It is done unto you as you believe. It doesn't get really any more simple than that. And also in this philosophy, we remember who we are in every moment. And when we pray from God. We never pray to God. Pray from God. And it's a philosophy of love. And it's a philosophy of responsibility, which is another, not always a favorite of everyone's as well. But it's responsibility for your thoughts. Good morning, my friend. Welcome back. And it is a responsibility that we take for our lives, not for everyone else's. Did you hear the last part? Not for everybody else's, but for our own. So however you embrace it, Rita and I always talk about how beautiful this philosophy is because it really invites all. No matter what your religious affiliation is, it doesn't really matter. Claire, Mama Claire, her mother was a devout Catholic. And she is just in this presence of the same God. Whether or not we all believe that or not, it doesn't really matter. So welcome to this time that we've come together as light beings to just share this time with each other, share this wonderful thing called love. And with that being said, now that everybody's settled in, it's like I'm going, yeah, we're all settled in now. So here's the thing. Who is here for the first time and is proud of it? Yeah, you can't hide because we have shell necklaces around your neck. There you go. You think that's a ploy. We just, who's new? Shell. So this is the deal. We know something about you, and I bet you're going to wonder how we know that. And we're going to share it with everyone in this room. Shall we? Okay, go. You are magnificent. And he is so relieved. Yes. It always frightens people for a moment when you say we have some info on you and we like to share it. You know. So, but I just like to let you know why we know how magnificent you are. It's because we know that about ourselves. We can't know peace without having it first with ourselves. We can't know love without loving ourselves first. And that is so important. That's how we know that you're magnificent, is because we're looking at ourselves. So, with that being said, yes. Shall we all say it together? I am magnificent. Now, behind you, there's this tall man who I went bowling with yesterday, and a high scorer. So he's back there, but he has a camera in front of him. And what is beautiful about this is that we don't just stay on this little island, in this little spot in the middle of this island in the middle of the Pacific. We share ourselves with people on the mainland. I know someone called this morning or yesterday, Harmony, said, how do I get on to see you? I told her she's here today. But really who's there too to let us be with her is Reverend Rita. So let's tell everyone watching how magnificent they are. You are magnificent. And we love you. Now look to your left, to your right, look somewhere and let them know who they are. You're magnificent. Oh, you're magnificent. All right, let's take all this magnificence. Let's stand up and let's have our opening song with Maria Cristina and Luis on drums.
We are ever opening, and love is healing everything. We are ever opening, rising up to spread our wings. We're all one in love. We're all one in love, all that we're made of. Revs here in love. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine.
So what I know while we are here shining, when you have two people, you always forget that you're all of it right now. So Rita will not be doing this. So all I know is right here, right now, there is laughter in the room. And it is that laughter, it is that humor, that is that God's humor. That is that wonderful energy that says, yes, every time we laugh, we just let go even more. And I know that we have come here on divine purpose today to share our light, to be that light, to know and remember who and what we are. And that is good. That is God. That is, call it whatever you want, because this force doesn't need a name, because it is all names. So we are that power. We are that source. We are that love that is shining out. And so I know that we've come together, like I said, on purpose to remember who and what we are, to let this music just let us glide into that wonderful love presence. So I just say, let this day begin. Let this moment begin. Let it go from moment to moment to moment, remembering every minute who and what we are. And that is good. That is God. That is light. That is love. And so with that, I just release it, just like a dove in the air, as together we say, and so it is.
We are ever opening, and love is healing everything. We are ever opening, rising up to spread our wings. We're all one in love. We're all one in love. All that we're made of. Revs here in love. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine, let your love light shine. Let your light shine.
Good morning. Wow, it's really amazing to see so many people that come out in this liquid sunshine, and especially our new visitors. I'm Rob Jones. I'm a certified practitioner. Sometimes I wonder about the certified. You know, what am I certified for? And now that Rita's watching me, I'm starting to sweat. But I'm here to lead you into meditation. If you would like to close your eyes and go within and take a couple of nice deep breaths and let all the mud and water and rain flow out of your lives into that nice peaceful place where spirit always resides. And I have a little seed thought here for you from a famous man, Robert Frost. He said, in 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. Enjoy your meditation. 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. And as you slowly come back to the room here, what I know is that Spirit fills this room and fills everyone here with everything that Spirit is. Life, love, opportunities, health, abundance, all the things that are good, that come from love and life. And what I know is that I am unified through and through with the things that Spirit is. And if I can be unified, I know everybody here in this room, on Kauai, on live streaming, where Rita is, where everybody is on this planet, and the people on other planets. And I know that Spirit is there always to give us life. It gave us life, and it always gives us life. We just have to open up to how we choose to use it. And it's through our choices that we grow and we evolve into things ever better and better and greater than we ever thought possible. And the possible becomes our truth. It becomes our manifestation. And so I am so very, very thankful for all of this life that we live and the opportunities that are there for us and for our choices in life. I say mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. And so I release my word, which is really the word of Spirit flowing into the law that always says yes, 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 yes. As we say together, and so it is.
And we have our chant. It's in your program.
I've got peace like a river, peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river and it flows like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean and it flows like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain and it flows like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river, peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river and it flows like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
Thank you so much, Rob. Well. Here we are, April 8th. This month is dedicated to living life to the fullest. You like that idea? Yeah. Living life to the fullest. It does not mean living life to the busiest. Such a big difference. Living life to the fullest, living life to the busiest. I said that to somebody. I went, oh, I've been so busy. And they go, well, did you feel, is it full? I was like, whoa, stumped the minister, right? So I went, yeah, I get the difference. Because I don't know if any of you, and I know on Kauai, everyone thinks we don't get busy because they think we're all just like laying around going, like, they do, right? Could you pass the umbrella? I need it for my drink. I learned so much about myself when Rita and I take these little time away from one another. And this week, you know, if anybody's been here, they know she's got that thing with Joe Dispenza, you know, that thing. Well, I spent the week with Brene Brown. Just an FYI. Every day in the car, Brene Brown, if any of you know of her, she's that wonderful researcher that researches that wonderful, warm subject of shame. You know, that she said when she goes to a party, they go, so what do you do? I research shame. And everyone, So I spent, it's one of these things, and vulnerability also, that's another winner at a party. So I spent the week listening to a tape I got on my last birthday, and my birthday's coming up, and I thought I'm going to listen to it again. And it's so funny because I get more out of it this time, because the first time you listen to something, right, you're like, where's the gems, where's the gems, where's the gems? And you're not listening at all, basically. And so this time I was really listening. And I learned something with my beautiful Rita on what she's going through. And I shared it in a blog, but I'm going to share it with you just kind of off topic for a moment, is that idea that when someone is going through something very, very painful, my job, our job, when we love someone, is to, how do we say it? Shut up. And just let it be. The first time I'm on the phone with her, right, and she's going through her family, I'm like, I feel like she's like staring at me right now. But anyway, but I'm sitting there, but I'm sitting there, and I'm going, you know, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to tell your brother, and you need to. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm directing her, and I caught myself because I'm evolving so wonderfully, and I go, oh, and I could tell. She didn't want me to fix her. She didn't want me to fix it. She didn't want me to bring her mother back. She didn't want me to do anything. She just wanted me to listen. And what a valuable lesson for all of us. Just listen. People just need to say what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they're experiencing. And I slipped a couple times, I will tell you a couple times. But most of the time, I just listened, and she's just doing, I'm so proud of her. This is a hard time for anyone who goes through it. And she's just being with every moment of her feelings. So I'm really proud of her in that, and I'm also grateful for the lesson that I learned, that spend a little more time listening to one another. You ever felt that? Sometimes when you're listening, you're really just trying to think of what I'm going to say as soon as they're quiet? Yeah, right? I know you guys find that hard to believe with me, but... you know, I get this reputation, though. I found out yesterday while we were bowling. I have nothing more to say. And everybody looked at me like really oddly. Like, well, that'd be a first. You know, I was like, wow, is that how people think of me? But I'm confident. I have two places I'd like to go today. I want to talk about storytelling. And I want us to get a little bit into joy. As you well know, that the last couple months, we've been talking about a lot of things. And I just want everyone to know that we're going to talk about joy today. And what gets in the way. Oh, I forgot that little part. But let's start with this wonderful quote by Anderson Cooper. Wow. I'm kind of like, I don't filter out, but I remember when my mother was alive, I said, oh my God, Anderson Cooper, he's really very funny and he's smart. And I was going on and she goes, well, you're talking a lot about Anderson Cooper right now. And I said, oh my God, do I have a man crush on Anderson Cooper? But I could tell somebody in this room did because I mentioned Anderson. I heard, what was that? Anderson Cooper says this: the tide of history only advances when people make themselves fully visible. The tide of history only advances when people make themselves fully visible. How's that land? Visible, right? Because we're walking around a lot of the times invisible with our little armors up. I know nobody in this room, but there are people out there that are absolutely walking around with this armor of protection. And we keep saying we want to be open, but how much do we really allow one another to see us, who we are? And that's what I love. Someone said authenticity. Well, Patrick, if you have to talk about it, then it's not. Then you're not authentic. If you're authentic, you don't have to talk about it. If you're vulnerable, you don't have to talk about it. That's called not wanting to talk about it. And I hear that a lot. Oh, no, you talk about vulnerability. I said, I don't talk about it. I want to be an example of it. And that's what I'm working with this week, is this idea of, because to be fully visible, we must be fully vulnerable. And I know it's not an easy task sometimes. I was taught at a very young age to make sure no one really saw who you are. And we also have a lot of times we run around saying, oh, I hope they don't find out who I really am, right? And I hope that people do find out who I really am. And I think the person I really want to find out who I really am is me. Because I am magnificent. I have the divine intelligence running through every fiber of who I am standing here, and each and every one of you have that too. But we have to dare to be vulnerable. So what does vulnerable mean? Tell everybody your story? No. We were in Flying Solo on Thursday, and I can't discuss anything that went on there, or, well, you know what they say, if you discuss it, you have to do something about that. But I'm not going to do that. So what I'm saying is, what I learned about that is that idea of going beyond the story and allowing, because we like to tell stories. But the main ingredient of every story is you. And that's where the risk and the vulnerability comes. And the risking, and we're thinking this risking to tell all of our stories. I'm in a new place in my life. You need to be worthy of my stories. You need to be worthy of my stories. And what I mean by that is that people, I have a couple faces going, what does that mean? Well, I want to explain that to you. I have to trust you. I have to be able to, my stories are worth something. Everyone's stories are worth something. They're wonderful. And I'm not talking about all the things that went wrong. Not all those stories either, all the good stories. But when I say worthy is, can I open up? And I do this every Sunday. I believe that that's what I do. And that's what Rita does. And so I know that each and every one of you are worthy, but I take vulnerability even a little further, which is wonderful. There's an old thing when we play doctor, you know, we can talk, we're all adults here. They would say, you know, show me yours, I'll show you mine, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right? I didn't play that, but I heard rumors. But here's what I know about vulnerability. I can't wait for you to show me your vulnerability before I can show you mine. True vulnerability is I will show you who I am, even if you don't. That's vulnerability. Oh, it's really nice when it's somebody else. I used to do it. I loved my 30s. They'd be, I love talking to Patrick. That's because I had you talking about yourself all the time, so you never found out anything about me. I didn't even know I was doing it. I was like, and then what happened? And then what happened? And how about your mother? And let's bring in all your other relatives. And what else happened with, and then by the time they would go, oh, that's odd. I didn't find out anything about you. I was like, yes. That's exactly what I wanted till I got older with it. So we have our stories. Brene Brown, I'll say her name again, Rita. Brene Brown. Oh, the Joe, I just love this. When we deny the story, it defines us. When we deny the story, it defines us. When we own the story, and I really want to talk about this today. When we own the story doesn't own us. And that is such good news. When we own our stories. And what does it mean to own a story? That means you're probably not blaming anyone anymore. Not blaming yourself, not shaming yourself, but we're owning the story. And I have this wonderful thing that came up this morning, and I want to share it with you, this story about what we do, and I'm going to use myself as I always do. I had a story for so many years. Mrs. Lee, first grade, sensitive little Patrick sitting in the first grade, and she just wanted to remind me of how stupid I was. It was just like a daily thing. And then I became very, afraid to raise my hand, and I told this story, oh dear God. Up until, and I'm only telling it today for a reference, but I stopped telling it, well, let me say about a year ago. For 50-something years, Mrs. Lee has had center stage. And Mrs. Lee, and when I went to Catholic school, she said to my mom, oh, I don't think you'll really get in there. It takes kind of smarts to get into the, and I'm surprised my mother did not take her down. But anyway, but then again, I never saw Mrs. Lee again, did I? No. So Mrs. Lee, that story, does everybody have a Mrs. Lee or somebody? Oh my God, they still live so wonderfully there. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I remember that, and Mrs. Lee became my excuse. She became my beautiful excuse, and I thank her today. I just saw a picture of her and I don't have a lot of stuff from my past, but as far as pictures, but I saw her, and I just went, oh my God, you have been a star in my life. And then this is what happened. My inner child, and everyone knows I love doing inner child work. I've done it for years, and I'm good at it. I'm good at getting in there. And all of a sudden, I left the first grade, and I said, well, what happened in the other grades? And I remembered Mrs. Smith. And guess what, Mrs. Smith? She didn't call me stupid. No. It was a new story. Mrs. Smith said, Patrick needs to be master of ceremonies of the school talent show. And Sister Mary, Elva, I believe her name, no, Janetta, she said, well, that would be impossible. Only 8th graders do that. He's a 3rd grader. How would a 3rd grader be? And I'm watching this, and I'm going, well, I don't really want to be anyway. Remember me? I'm the stupid one from 1st grade. And she's going, no. And I'm thinking, Mrs. Smith is like, they're arguing. There's something special about this little boy. And Sister said, well, I'll pray on it. And then she came, and I ended up the master of ceremonies when only 8th graders did it. I tell you this story because I like to brag. No, I actually am telling you the story because today, I'm going to be 60 on May 2nd, and it took me all of those years to let Mrs. Lee go and remember all of the Mrs. Smiths, all the people that said I was wonderful, all the people that said I was intelligent, all the people that said, well, they didn't say I could play basketball, but all the people. And I thought to myself, this is incredible. This is incredible. This divine little spirit spent all of his time defending himself from first grade, and he had went on to third and fourth and all of these great things that Patrick continued to do. But how many of you still are sometimes held captive by Mrs. Lee? I can't even believe she still gets airtime. And it was that's called reframing. Go back. I can't take back that little boy that thought he was stupid all the way through and that was always trying to prove himself through that idea. But so many people were there, and I said, that was divine guidance. Mrs. Smith was divine guidance. She saw something in me when I couldn't see it in myself. And this is what we do as practitioners, and this is what we do as people. I see in you sometimes what you cannot see in yourself. When you cannot see it, we get the opportunity to say, oh my God, I see you. I see the real you. Oh, show everybody. We don't have to hide anymore. Wow. That feels really good, you know? Because this isn't about, we all have a Mrs. Lee, and we've all had them throughout our lives as well since then. And so there's an opportunity constantly to look for, how come, and I have to just end that part of this, why did Mrs. Smith not get all my stories? Why didn't I say to her at every dinner table? Why didn't I say to her about her at every party that you went, yeah, man, you think you got it tough? Mrs. Lee told me I was stupid and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then, why didn't I say, oh, there was this woman, Mrs. Smith, that thought I was special. And I believed her. Or did I? Or was I still going, yeah, but Mrs. Lee told me? No. Good stuff. So let's just talk about joy for a second. Lovely transition. Yeah, let's talk about joy. Okay, it's interesting, Brene Brown said this week, she said, it was interesting, she was talking about joy, and this is something that she was talking about, and I just went, wow. Joy is the most vulnerable emotion we experience. Joy is the most terrifying experience. And when she was on Oprah was like, what? You know, Oprah's like, what are you talking about? Joy is terrifying. I don't get, she had that look. Oprah's like this. Joy is wonderful. But what I was learning about joy is that we try to avoid it because of this. Has anybody ever had a fear of being disappointed about getting too excited about something? Don't leave me out here on the thing by myself, man. I had a real big thing about disappointment. And so she says this. Studies, and this isn't just her, rapping. It was just her and what she has done by the studies. It says that the studies showed that people, really hear this, live disappointment in order not to feel disappointed. If you ever met anybody, I've done it myself. Wow, that must be really exciting. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Gonna buy a new house? Yep. We'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. So you got a new love in your life? Yeah. She's good. Flatlining the whole way. Because you don't want to be disappointed. I don't know about any of you, but I can see why joy can be so vulnerable. Because if you're trying to avoid it, it's because the other shoe's gonna drop, right? I used to, when I was a kid, my dad, he had some challenges and he's working them through his family. But my mother, I said, Mom, are we going to the fair? We going to the fair? Mom. And she said, it depends on your father's behavior, and it depends on how he is on Friday night. And I was going, oh. So she goes, because I love you, don't get your hopes up too high. And these are times that we are learning. I am here today to remind us to get them so high that you can barely even see down. Because we've spent our whole life protecting ourselves. That was a protection that my mother gave me. She didn't, she wasn't advanced in that way that she was going, I don't want you to be afraid of disappointment. So I'm going to talk a little Brene Brown, who hasn't even been born yet. And but what she was saying was, don't count on it. What happens if the other shoe drops? Do you know where that comes from? That shoe dropping thing? When you live in apartments, there was a guy that came home, and it's a music story that they always tell. Came home, and the guy was really drunk upstairs, and you heard the flop of the shoe. He was getting into bed, flop. And so then they're sitting below going, where's the other shoe? Because they're ready for him to flip his other shoe. So finally, and I love what it says, finally, drop the other shoe already. And that's what we're doing. Not we, sorry, I. The other shoe to drop. Has anybody ever felt that way? Yeah, right? And you're sitting there going, the other shoe's going to drop. And I think what's interesting is that I'm thinking, well, let it drop. Let it drop. But I'm not going to give up my joy because I'm afraid of being disappointed. And that's really where the message is going, as far as, wow, to imagine that we're afraid of joy because we don't want to be disappointed. And I'm thinking, what does that look like in my day-to-day life? Well, that means that I maybe won't take as many risks. That means I may not risk to love. To love, it feels so vulnerable. That's why a lot of people choose not to. But the one thing about love is that you can't escape it no matter what you do, because that's who you are. That's the very breath of who we are. That is the very, very lightness of being that we are. And I've talked to a lot of people. They say, or people say, there's just no good men. There's no good women around, for a relationship. But a relationship, it takes vulnerability. I was thinking that this week. Because, when somebody passes away, we think it's about them, but then you start thinking of your own stuff, your own mortality, your own immortality, whatever it is. And I got that moment that said, oh my God, Rita, what would I do if something happened to Rita? And I went into that little fear of disappointment type thing. I'm going, don't love. That's what your mind is saying. Don't love. That'll hurt if something happens. And I'm thinking, that's the risk that we take. That's why we came here. We came here to say, no matter how much I risk to love you. And that's not just in a relationship. It's time we all become visible. And I know that nobody in this room has ever walked into a room invisible, but I've done it before. I've walked around thinking, I hope I'm invisible so that nobody sees me, or they won't talk to me, or they won't do whatever. So today's message is very interesting for me because it's not about running from joy. It's about knowing that that's what we are already and taking the risk. There's a big risk in loving. And there's a bigger risk, and I'll always end with this. In 5 minutes? No. I always end with this, is that the biggest risk I have ever taken in my life is to fall in love with me, to love myself. That's a risk, because we've spent all of our time with ourselves 24/7, and we have a lot of stories. We have a lot of stories. And so I'm making a little pact with myself, an agreement with myself, which makes me think not only of you and your agreements, Marianne, but on Friday, we're doing the outreach with the kids. And God, if you ever want to remember who you are, come by on Friday and spend some time with those kids. And we were doing some agreements about not talking and not hitting each other, this stuff that kids love to do, bah, bah, and they have all the great verbiage. It's about respect and it's about that, but then they have to actually activate that and actually implement it. And so we had a little thing up here, and they got to make the agreements. And this little kid, he was so wonderful. He said, they said, I don't want the rules to say don't do this and don't do that and don't do this and, like what we do. We don't want you to talk, don't do this, He said, I learned that we should talk about what we want. What we want. I thought, can you speak on Sunday? Because that's exactly, because you'll really knock him out of the park here. And about what we want, because that's what I'm saying. Do we focus on Mrs. Lee? Or talk about what we want? We want Mrs. Smith. And you're sitting there thinking, what, do you just want people to say good things about you all the time? Hell yeah. Because as Brene says, if you're not in the arena, and I've said this before, risking, if you're not in there with me, I'm not interested in your feedback. If you're not out here with me, it's not about suffering. It's about if you're not daring to, please don't rain on my parade. Please do not rain on my parade. You know how just to tell you a little something about myself, because I'd never do. When I speak and when I allow whatever happens up here, it's like eating. Sometimes you get full really quick. And then sometimes you have to take a moment to say, am I full? And what's really interesting is I've been taking these moments to breathe, breathe before responding. It's an interesting thing, and it's very awkward to those around you, especially if there's a panic going on or something that, somebody's going, oh my God, I just found out that, and my credit card, somebody stole it, blah, 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 blah. And for us to take a moment to go, what do we need to do about that? What do you need from me? That's what I've been doing all week with Rita. I've been breathing. And if any of you saw Tomatoes on a Windowsill, oh dear God, the other play is going on in Florida as we speak, because all of her relatives are there. And it was so beautiful, and everyone's going like that, but it's that taking that breath. Let me be that calmness for you. We need to do that for one another. When people are coming up and they need something, take a breath with them. Say, oh, I got an idea. Come here. Yeah, but I got to tell you the story. No. Doesn't that feel good? There's a peace that I feel in this room right now that is so, my favorite word, delicious. Thank you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being the vulnerability that you are. Thank you for allowing me to know how worthy you are of my vulnerability. And Rita, we love you. Mwah. Namaste.
Please hear me call, I'm calling out. I've been praying, hoping for you to show me how to realize home, yeah. In the light, the light, the light, the light, the light, the light. See, I forgot who I really am. I've been searching, wandering, trying to understand what it means to be home, yeah. In the light, the light, the light, the light, the light, the light. There have been times I felt I was getting close, to see in the bigger picture right now. Maybe that would help the most. If feeling your arms around me helps me to let go. And even though there's so much that I don't know, we've come in love, we've come in peace, we've come to live in harmony. However we've fallen, let's lift each other up, hear each other calling, 'cause we are one, we are one, all living under the same sun. We are one, forgiveness, grace, and everyone. How about no more fighting, not 'cause of carrying down? We can listen to each other, there's a treasure to be found. And maybe we realize we're really all the same in a different disguise. And maybe all we want is based on what we've been through and how we see the world and what we feel we need to do. 'Cause it's survival, faith and surrender too. It's a wild journey and I'll keep moving on, trying to hold it together and be strong. And even if we don't know what it will take, let's call forgiveness in and heal every mistake. 'Cause we've come in love, we've come in peace, we've come to live in harmony. However we've fallen, let's lift each other up, hear each other calling, 'cause we are one, we are one, all lit up under the same sun. We are one, forgiveness, grace, and everyone. We are one, all living under the same sun. We are one, forgiveness, grace, and everyone. We are one. We are one. We are one. We are one.
It's like a lullaby. I found myself rocking over there. Let's just take a moment. I want to do something vulnerable. Was the talk. And it's all up to you. I'll close my eyes so I don't see who wants to do it and who doesn't want to do it. But I want you to put your hand on your heart for just a moment. And there's this wonderful, this beautiful inner child that lives within each and every one of us. Whatever your belief system, it's fine. But I know it to be true. It's that pure energy that's never been touched by anything. That brave little boy and that brave little girl. And can you just, for a moment, say with me, I'll say it first, and then we'll say it together. And most of all, saying it to that little, wonderful being that lives within you as you. Say, I am proud of you. I am proud of you. One more time. I am proud of you. And just sit with that for just a moment. Take a nice deep breath. Let it land. I am so proud of you. Yes. Wow. This whole room is just vibrating. Whew. what that means is it's been a long time since we let them know that, maybe. Right? All right, back to joy. And here's the deal. Isn't this joyful? We get so confused about tears. It's so beautiful. Where were we? Hey, Rita. She goes, I can't leave him alone one time. So here's the deal. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So this is our time of affirmative giving. And I believe we just gave ourselves an investment that's going to last a lifetime just now. Yeah. Yes. So we also have a beautiful investment mantra that we use. Say it with me, please. I freely and joyously give the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, my life, and the world. So it is. For I am so blessed. It's in your program.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have.
Wow, Patrick. Look at all that energy in there. Joy, life. And what I know about this wonderful energy, it is the life that flows from out there to in here to enrich everyone. And I am so, so thankful. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo for all that is here, all the blessings. And so, as we say together, and so it is.
There you go. And I think I see, speaking of inner child, I see children coming this way. I know you. I know you. How are you guys? Good to see you. Wow, you got a full house today. Woohoo, let's give it up for him. Hey, George. It is the girls' club. Okay, what are we looking at here? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, today we talked about God is love, and God is in your heart, and your heart controls your brain. And let's see, this isn't about me, this is about them. So here's Ruby. What did you do?
So today, basically what we did was color this, and then we were reading up, we were meditating, and then we read up that which organ controls all the other organs. A lot of the time people think it's the brain, but what controls the brain is the heart. So for heart you need spirit, and for spirit you need God, and for God you need love.
Is there something you had to say? No? So here's the deal. Heart math and meditation. Wow. Did you have fun today?
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. Oh, we have something to say to you, don't we? Is this your first time here? What is your name? Marley. Marley? Can everybody say welcome to Marley? Marley. There you go. So we have something to say to all of you. Are you ready? You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent. And we love you. How do you like that? Marley says, yeah. This is the place to be at 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings, right? All right. Thank you so much, George. Thank you for everything that you do. You and Janice over there. Hi, Janice. Wow. We've had a full day, haven't we? Not busy, just full. So we also have our practitioners. Can they please come up? At the end of service, what we like to do is just have a moment that you can come up. And if there's something going on in your life that you just, as I said in the beginning, that just want a little extra moment to just let us know that for you, then these wonderful people, is there anyone else today, do you know? Well, you'll find out when you come up here. This is how it works, just for those who love directions. You'll come up, and they'll be standing there, and if you're not getting it, go ahead and start going into the social room, and then you can come up and you could say something like, I've got this going on, but just my finances, and then they'll do something. This, ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, huh? And then you pray. Pray with them and know the highest. So if you want a session, something longer than a couple of minutes that we do up here, please feel free to call, and Rita and I and all the practitioners are here for you. All right? So there you go. Over here we have our building fund, which looks like it's growing and it'll need to be counted. Rita loves to do that. And so we will have that. And let me see, anything else? I think that is absolutely it. Oh, well, don't forget Rap with the Revs. We're doing that right after. So there you go. How's everyone feel? Good. So let's stand up, shall we? And have a closing song. Now that we're very clear,
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
what I know is it doesn't matter what appearances are. It is always a bright, sunny day. And right now we are celebrating coming together, full circle, remembering who and what we are with such gratitude. And as wonderful Ruby said, yes, it starts in the heart. It's the heart. And I think that, and I know that we have experienced that together today. And I am so grateful for Michelle, who does so much around CSL Kauai and does those announcements so wonderful and heads the Malama team. And we have Emma and Marion and Glenn today that just absolutely gave from their hearts to greet and to just allow their beautifulness to just shine. And so we have Jonathan back there and Rob on the camera, but not only he stepped away from that camera today and allowed himself to come up here and nurture us with his wonderful meditation and his absolute beautiful treatment. And Roseanne's in the bookstore. We give such gratitude for our bookstore. And Ron Stover is always back there cooking something up. And we just say, yes, someday we'll have a stove and there really will be something cooking up because we are growing. And thank you, Arlena, for the beautiful flowers. And Maria Christina, you are just an absolute wonderful, wonderful moments here on Sundays. Thank you. And your music is beautiful. And Louise, thanks for keeping the beat, man. Thank you. And Janice and George and our wonderful children who are learning so much and meditating, learning to go within and commune with that thing called spirit. This is beautiful. And to everyone that is watching online, especially our little Reverend Rita, let's turn around and say, hey again. Aloha, we love you. Gratitude feels so good, doesn't it? Not just an attitude of gratitude, we practice gratitude. Not just an attitude, we practice it. So knowing that, I just say thank you. Thank you for each and every one of our beautiful, beautiful spirits that came here today. We just release and we go out in the world and we shine, 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 as together we say. And so it is.
Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.